I'm not sure. Do you think I'm going to have enough containers to hold that many ingredients? And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is weekend country number 172 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world, and tonight up to the nation of Thailand. Thailand, located in Southeast Asia, is bordered by the nations of Laos, Myanmar, Malaysia, and Cambodia, and its food is one of the most legendary cuisines in the whole wide world. In fact, it even has a whopping 40 dishes in the list of the world's favorite plates, so that's a whole lot to live up to. In fact, its cuisine is really great, and it varies across the entire nation because there are a lot of dishes that are shared among its neighbors, as well as there being 5 distinct cuisines within the country, which of course we couldn't even possibly cover in just one night. I mean, there are dishes involving coconut and spices and fish and chicken and all manner of things. So we tried to do this last time. Let's see how it went then. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I got to cook and stream across 3 nights, which did let me get a little bit of variety in the country's cuisine. And we started on the first night with doing a really great green curry, which was delicious. We served that with the green papaya salad, which was equally great. Unfortunately, we're not doing that this night. Neither are we doing what we did on the second night, which is the one where we actually had company and had one of the most well-known dishes in all of Thai cuisine, which is pad Thai. That came out really nicely, and we served that with a scrumptious watermelon feta and jalapeno salad, which was so great. I'm surprised I haven't made it again since. But what we are doing here tonight are the 2 dishes we did on night 3, which are some of the most popular also, which are a Massaman curry. I served that with Laab, which is a minced pork salad, usually eaten in lettuce cups, at least in my personal experience. So let's see what go in tonight's 2 dishes. And another thing, those 2 dishes each involve their own recipes for ingredients contained within them. In the case of the Massaman curry, it's a Chinese 5-spice, and in the case of the Laab, it is a curry paste. You can buy those each in your own market, but of course I don't like making things easy for myself, so I decided to make my own. Recipes are going to be attached, so now we need to see what go into those dishes. First, we'll start with our Massaman curry, and for that we'll need to start with the curry paste. For that we'll need 10 large dried chilies, which will be roast, soaked, and then seeded, a half a teaspoon of black peppercorns, which will be roasted, 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds, which will be roasted, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, which will be roasted, 2 cloves, which will be roasted, 2 cardamom pods, which will be roasted, 1 teaspoon of shrimp paste, which will be roasted, half a teaspoon of powdered nutmeg, not roasted, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of kaffir lime leaves minced, 1 teaspoon of galangal diced, 1 tablespoon of diced coriander stems, 1 tablespoon of lemongrass. You can use diced lemongrass, or in our case, lemongrass powder, a 1/4 cup of diced shallots, and 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. And then for the curry itself, we'll need 4 tablespoons of curry paste. You can make it yourself, as we will, or you can buy it in a store. 3 tablespoons of oil. We're going with canola oil here. 1 leg and 2 thighs of chicken, though we're going with 4 chicken thighs here. 1 cup of coconut cream plus 1 cup of coconut milk. 1 cup of white potatoes diced. 1 cup of onions or peeled whole shallots diced. 4 cardamom pods. A 1/4 cup of roasted peanuts whole. 1 tablespoon of palm sugar. A 1-inch piece of cinnamon stick. 2 dried cassia leaves, also known as cinnamon leaves, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce or to taste, 2 tablespoons of tamarind paste or to taste, and cooked rice for serving. And for our Thai minced pork salad, first we'll need to make the Chinese 5-spice. And for that we'll need 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground cloves, 1 teaspoon of fennel seed, toasted and ground, 1 teaspoon of ground star anise, 1 teaspoon of Szechuan peppercorns, toasted and ground. And for the dish itself, we'll need 1/3 of a cup of canola oil, 3 tablespoons of mashed garlic, 4 Thai chilies stemmed and minced, 10 ounces of ground pork, 1 teaspoon of crushed red chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of the Chinese 5-spice powder from before, or you can buy it pre-made in a store, 1 teaspoon freshly grated nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground coriander, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom, 2 tablespoons of minced mint plus more to garnish, 1 tablespoon of minced scallions plus more to garnish, 1 tablespoon of minced cilantro plus more to garnish, 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, and thinly sliced kaffir lime leaves, lemongrass, shallots, cucumbers, and cherry tomatoes to garnish. As you saw, I have used up every available container in the house for that, and it smells really great. We had a very unfortunate mishap with our camera while we were cooking our Massaman curry, which means that I didn't really get any of the actual cooked part until deep into cooking the dish. So even though you're not going to see the actual step-by-step preparation, I'm going to put it up on the screen, and you can just enjoy watching that delicious curry bubble while we do that. All that being said, we need to get cooking. If making your own paste, dry roast the dry spices in a pan on medium heat until fragrant, for about 2 to 4 minutes per spice. The chilies should be browned. Soak the dried chilies until soft. Meanwhile, roast the rest of the spices. It's best to roast each thing one at a time until fragrant. Roast the shrimp paste, wrapped in foil, for a few minutes too. This will become very, very strong smelling. Once the chilies have softened, take out the seeds and inner bits, and chop finely. Pound the paste in a stone mortar and pestle, and then start by grinding up the dried spices until powdered. Then set it aside. Put the chilies in the mortar, and pound until uniformly smashed. Then add the rest of the ingredients, starting from the hardest and driest, and working up to the softest at the end. Then add in the dried spice powder, and add in the shrimp paste, and mix well. Add oil to the pan and turn on to medium-high. Fry 2 tablespoons of the paste until fragrant, about 3 to 4 minutes. Keep stirring so it doesn't burn. Add the whole chicken pieces, and fry until the chicken is sealed on the outside, about 2 to 3 minutes. Add 1 cup of the coconut cream. Simmer until the oil separates, about 2 to 3 minutes. You'll see reddish oil starting to float to the top. Then add the potatoes, peanuts, onions, and 1 cup of the coconut milk. Simmer for a few minutes. Then add the cinnamon, cardamom leaves, and cassia leaves, and mix well. Simmer and stir well until the mixture browns and a good deal of oil comes to the top, about 15 to 20 minutes. If it gets too dry, add some water. At the end, add the fish sauce, palm sugar, and the tamarind paste. Taste, you may need to adjust the flavor if it's not salty or sour enough, and serve with rice or roti. First, you'll need to make the Chinese 5-spice mix if you don't have it already. Into a spice grinder, you'll place the cinnamon, ground cloves, toasted fennel seeds, star anise, and Szechuan peppercorns. Grind that and set it aside. Then get to work on the Laab. Heat oil in a 12-inch skillet over medium heat. Then add the garlic and chilies and cook, stirring until fragrant, about 2 minutes. Then add the pork, chili flakes, 1 tablespoon of the 5-spice mix, nutmeg, salt, pepper, coriander, and cardamom, and cook, stirring until the pork is browned, about 2 minutes. Then stir in the mint, scallions, cilantro, and fish sauce, and cook until the pork is done, about 4 minutes. Transfer to a large serving bowl. In our case, we're doing them on individual servings. Top with scallions, cilantro, kaffir lime leaves, tomatoes, lemongrass or mint, we're using mint here, and cucumbers. How'd that all turn out, well, it was really great. It was very aromatic. It was one of the longest preps I've had across the entire global operation here. And we're gonna start out with that Laab. Now that was really great. I've had it multiple times before, and ironically, it is one of the 2 or 3 dishes I ever did before I started this whole project way back in 2012. And it was really nice. It was very spicy, which I liked, and it was very salty, which was a bit much. I know when I did it before I started this whole project, that one actually may have come out better, or maybe it was just the fact that I'd never cooked anything before. But this was really great. It would have been better if I had served it in those lettuce cups, because that would have helped counteract the saltiness of it. But all in all, it was really great. I'm gonna give that one 4 out of 5 globes. And on to that Massaman curry. That was a whole lot of work, but it was super worth it. It smelled so good. It tastes so good. It did not win any prizes in the looks category, but curries generally don't. But that was really wonderful. I loved the flavors of it. It was nice and spicy, and it was one of those great Southeast Asian dishes which do a perfect job of balancing the spicy, sweet, sour, bitter, and umami. I'm gonna give the Massaman curry 5 out of 5 globes. Really wonderful, very spicy, but if you can handle it, check it out. So that does it for this stint here in Thailand. Next week we don't go very far. We travel slightly south to have the wonderful food of the little-known nation of Timor-Leste. See ya then. And remember, if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, please be sure to follow us on Periscope. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like and subscribe if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, and be sure to hit that bell to get those notifications. Remember, links to the original recipes can be found in the About section. If you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food we're eating, please be sure to sound off in the comments. Thanks for watching, and happy eating!